Alright, so first we're gonna show how to install the mods and everything, but I'm also gonna start with a little disclaimer here. If you use my CFG files, which is basically the configuration for some mods, like you have to use the CFG along with the mod file, but if you use mine, there will be some settings. For example, use your key on the keyboard that opens these light worlds. If you don't know which key that is, just press random stuff on the keyboard, or go into settings and look in keybinds, and then there will be one called light worlds, I guess. Then you go to the setting wheel up here on the left, and there will be some stuff that uses this type of setting. Then we have, for example, the loot collector. Boom. These settings is how I set them, so I automatically loot collect C4 because I type star C4 and then you do this kind of bracket icon, then star the next thing. So whatever I type in here, if I were to type just one letter, it would automatically loot collect everything with that letter inside. So C4, that will auto loot collect my crystal 4s, battle poles, mana maxers, blah blah. You will have to look here if there's something you want to keep that you don't want to just automatically throw away, like crystal 3 or the portals you find sometimes from dungeons. So set this how you like it, and then just press this like save disk up here. Nothing happens, but I just click it a couple times and then escape. Boom, we're done. So there's one very good program to use, which is called Renew Trove Tools by Sly. If you use this tool, you have not only all of these like trackers for whatever is going on, but in here you have the mod manager. So if you ever want to just browse some random mods, you click up here, and then you search for like inventory, and then you have a couple here. And if you are curious about one of them, you just click it, and it will go to that site on Trovesaurus. But if you use the links in the description to use my mods, for example, you will have to find the location of all of this and drag it in by default, right? So in here you can see I have like games, glyph, games, trove, live. This is the path to where I have my mod folder. I click mods. Here is all the T-mod files. This is where you want to drag them in. And then for the CFG files, you want to type %appdata %. You want to go into Trove. You want to have the mod CFGs folder. And in here, you just drag them all in. And if you don't have this folder, just create one. And now I'm gonna try to speed run through all the mods. I'm not gonna waste any time. Couple of obscure UI mods here. Class select and store. Inventory enhanced UI. Mod manager, you're looking at it right now. Mod setting manager. If you go down here into your liked worlds, you have a little setting wheel up here, and here you can set some stuff that I showed in the beginning. Player HUD, superior loot collector, which was the example I gave in the beginning, where you can change some items that you want to hide in there, or that you want to automatically loot collect. And you can even press this thing to automatically loot collect just when you open it. And of course you gotta hit save up here. Atlas long shade rotation lets you know about D15 when it's gonna change. Auto accept invite LLF. So if you're using Trove tools, this one is gonna say that it has an update. I do never update this mod because the latest version is confusing to me. I just use this old one. Here you can set anything you want to automatically accept or automatically decline, or if someone invites you, you can have auto accept, etc. IU compass changes both the compass and the display of waves when you're doing 5-star dungeons in Sundered Uplands. So changes how it looks on the top of your screen when you're in a delve, which room has been cleared, etc., or where people are. It also gives you this little speed indicator at the bottom of the screen. I kind of toggle this on and off depending on if I want my UI to be as clean as possible, because I'm a freak with my UI. IU ESP, which lets you see bosses through walls, which is super helpful, especially on Shadowhunter. Lets you clear through the walls. IU hotbar, better name tags, better sky, better tome reminder when your legendary tome is full, better friend list. This lets you put favorites like this, which will go on the top. You can also push this lightning button, which will assign them the color you are currently on here. And then if you go over here, you can see that you can press invite all, but you can also just right click the color you have assigned them to, and it will automatically invite everyone with that color. So if I press left click on the green one, for example, then I press green on these guys right here. Now, if I were to right click this, it will send an invite to them, even if they are in hidden mode. And then to take it off, I have to go in and do it on that color again. Flam's damage reflection warning. So this is an enemy in D15 and in the Depths Delve. When this enemy has this purple aura thing around it, you should not hit it, because then it's just gonna reflect back and kill you most likely. But with this mod, it's even easier to see when there's a lot of effects going on so that you don't accidentally hit it. Crafting color fix just gives a nice color to if you already have an item, both on things that drop and in benches. So it will have a green text if you need it and red if you already have it. Custom quick marketplace. So yeah, it just looks like this. If I search for something like this, I can press the save button and it will be saved down here. And as you can see, I can right click to remove anything. Then I can quickly search for it by pressing down here. Custom VFX for shadow and up, so it will look like this. Also includes crystal. Dark surface geode. Geode topside looks like that. Dracolite basic attack overhaul. Looks very nice. Easy to see biomes edit, remove some crap in certain biomes. Easy to see critters' desires, so when you're in geode caves you will have this aura thing around critters. Easy to see occupied ally habitats, so certain clubs has these habitats in them and you can easily see which ones you can go pick up because it will have this arrow above. Also you can check Trove Club Quest Discord. If there are any clubs that has any you can go to and grab. Link to that Discord is in the description. Egg Finder gives a big glow to eggs in geode caves that are in tier 3 and below in the rooms. Fixed Knight basic attack VFX looks very nice. Gardening, easy to see watering, so if you're watering plants you will see which ones will be affected. Geode waypoints tier 1 to 3 and 4 to 5, so you will see these waypoints on plants. This will also work inside of delves. Hide my ally makes Digsley invisible, so if you use Digsley as your style on your ally, it instead will be hidden for you and anyone using this mod. Loading screen looks very nice. Minimap, so when I press V, I get minimap up here, which stays up even if I walk around and do dungeons. This is super helpful to me, and there's another super helpful mod which I cannot use because it conflicts with this mod, which is Auto Tome and Claim, which will automatically swap tomes for you instead of using that reminder that I have. But then you cannot use the minimap mod, so you gotta pick and choose, and I prefer the minimap. Transparent Pyrodisc. This is the Pyrodisc mod I'm using right now. There are multiple of them and I keep swapping them around based on what I feel like. So just search for Pyro on Trovesaurus and pick the one you like. Modified Health Meter makes any boss you fight have this health meter. Nina recolored U12 ores. So this changes the color of certain ores, including glacial shards, which is what I mostly use it for. So it's easy to see them when I'm doing my daily quest. If you're watching in the future and you install my mods, chances are that this mod will make some other textures look weird because that always happens with new updates. Anything that changes textures will be messed up in future updates. So either you need a new version or you just need to remove this one if that happens to you. No more annoying sounds V1. Instead of enemies absolutely exploding when you kill them, it sounds like this. No more excessive decos, removes crap from delves. Pink U10 mobs makes any Geo topside mob, not just U10, look like this, and the ranged enemies drop gear, so it's good for flux farming with high magic find. Redesigned Atlas info, looks very nice. Redesigned character sheet, looks very nice. Also has a very good gem page. If I press level up here, it will only go once. If I press fast, it will use all my materials and try to max it out. And if I press slow, it will go slowly towards whatever I choose here. So usually you want to level your stellars to 15 before you loot collect. So press 15 and you go slow like this. There you go. Redesigned claims, looks very nice. Redesigned info, changes how it looks when you get experience and loot down in the corner. Redesigned item moving, so whenever you move a stack of something, you have this menu, looks very nice. Redesigned leaderboard, looks very nice. Redesigned lockbox, both looks very nice and also you can open very fast. Redesigned quest tracker, you can see up in the top right, looks very nice. Redesigned reticle, changes your crosshair. And if you head into settings, mod settings, redesigned reticle, here you can color your crosshair however you like. Of course, if you use my CFG, you will get mine. Redesigned settings, looks very nice. Redesigned subclass, looks very nice. Reimagined jumps, looks very nice. Remove Boomeranger's sword trail. So when you're doing this, it doesn't have a bunch of extra effects. This is just my cyclone. Smart fishing pools lets you know how many fish are in pools. Smart martial and arcane buff timers, so when I use my flask I get this timer on the right of me. Looks very nice and it's also very practical. Sundered Upland waypoints adds waypoints to these items in Sundered Uplands. The pink monolith makes it so that when you have the quest to defeat monolith in delves, it will have a huge pink cube around it so you don't miss it. Symbol chat mod edited by Squeeze, Exodius and updated by Infinity Potato. This is my choice of the symbols chat mod. Uniform cosmic gems and boxes, looks very nice. And here you can see how the gems look. Unsightly weed waypoint, I included this, but I have it disabled. If you're doing your karma dailies, this is pretty nice to have, but otherwise it's not really useful. Then the classic waypoints, which adds waypoints to like enchanted wood, bleached bone, all that. Welcome UI, weekly bonus time list. So when you're on the welcome menu, you get this thing down here, and you can check what the next weekly bonuses will be. And white delves, which just makes delve walls white, so it's easier to see ores and stuff. And then I just want to end with saying that you should go to Trovesaurus and just check out the mod section, check out some perhaps costumes, perhaps you are chasing some dragon, perhaps there is some dragon egg waypoint that you need, so check that out. Good luck. Peace.